guys, welcome back to Kal-El Supes 808. Okay, so now we can start talking about him. David Corenswet is our new Superman. It's been confirmed. Hollywood Reporter broke this yesterday, and then James Gunn on Twitter confirmed it. So now it's confirmed. We do have David Corenswet as Clark Kent Superman, and we have Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. So we can now start talking about it. And already there's very mixed opinions online. There's people saying, oh, I don't like him, he's too small, he looks like Superboy. Well, he looks like a young Superman. I want Henry Cavill back. You're not getting Henry Cavill back, sorry. At least not for now. I mean, there's nothing to say because they do look quite alike. If you put David Corenswet's face right next to Henry Cavill's, there's a real resemblance. So David Corenswet does have a real Superman kind of look. So I'm quite happy about that. He's also 6'4". Like, so he's a monster, this guy. Just because he's slimmer than Henry Cavill. Have you seen photos when Cavill was doing screen testing? He looked terrible. He looked skinny. He didn't look like Superman at all. Muscle's really easy to put on. Don't forget, he's been hired now as Superman. So he's going to get the best trainers, the best dietitians. It's not that hard to stack on a little muscle in a couple of years. You could do it. Anybody can do that. He has a good voice. He has a great look. Personally, I have no problems with David Corenswet being cast in the role. I don't know a lot about him. I know he was in a movie called Pearl. I've seen him in a couple of interviews. He seems to be a bit of a nerd. He's a bit of a Star Wars fan. Watch this interview from a little while back. He seems quite playful and down to earth, which I think is what you need for a guy who's going to be representing Superman on the big screen.
What the hell am I doing here? That's not true.
This is American Airlines starting to
Cool. To you? You guys want to go to the park?
Heck yeah.
Seems dangerous.
Nuts. What is that line?
The Force. There were at least 3 or 4 times when I was growing up where I would sit quietly and then just slowly open my eyes and go. And probably one of those times I half convinced myself that like it shook a little bit or something. The other superpower I would have would be to have John Williams music play wherever I went.
And God, please let that happen in the next movie.
Definitely. That's probably worth it. I really get a lot just looking up at the moon. It's the moon! There's a thing way out there that's lit up by the other thing way out there. I love the idea that people just looked up at the moon and were like, probably we can get there, right? And everybody else was just like, I mean, I'm not doing anything. Do you want to like figure it out? I mean, my first love of space was the opening of Star Wars. You know, when Luke, walks out of his house after his uncle says, you got to stay on another season, and he goes up to the dune and he looks out over the 2 suns and John Williams comes in. Dun, 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 dun. I just remember being like, yeah, let's do it, come on. We had comic books that we got to read. I read Calvin and Hobbes. Calvin and Hobbes is my favorite comic book. It's playful and fun-loving and also deeply existential and poetic. They don't shy away from tough subjects. They deal with it and they're like, yeah, those things happen and they're sad and yeah. The only piece of, it's not really jewelry, but the only thing I wear is a New York subway token from the 1980s, which my dad would have carried in his pocket when he was an actor in New York. And so that was his good luck charm, and now it's kind of my good luck charm. I don't know, it's just a nice thing. Want to have sort of a nice, like, cordial roommate situation with spiders, because they take care of bugs. It's like having a cat that's smaller.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys hating on him already. That's not my Superman, I don't want Superboy, nope, and all the rest of it, all the nope memes. Well, fine. There's some people, I've seen 1 or 2 people, if it's not Henry Cavill, I will never watch it. Oh, okay, right, sure. But don't forget, Henry Cavill, I remember the days before Man of Steel when there was shots of him finally in the suit revealed as Superman, and people hated it. But now it's restore the Snyderverse, Henry Cavill is our Superman, and because he did a really good job. Good, not great. He was a good Superman, crap Clark Kent. Come on, you gotta admit that. But we've had that discussion in previous videos, so there's no point in harping on about it. Henry Cavill did a fine job. I'm sure David Corenswet, given the right direction and story, will do a fine job as well. I'm just concerned about the movie as a whole, just because, to be honest, I'm a little bit tapped out when it comes to superhero movies lately, and I just have no interest in the new Guardians movie. I didn't have any interest in Thor: Love and Thunder. You know my feelings on The Flash. I will probably never see that movie ever. So yeah, I'm a little bit tapped out when it comes to superhero movies. But I will be going to watch Superman Legacy. There's no doubt about it when it comes out. I believe it's set to release July 11th, 2025, so a little bit of time to wait. But I'll be watching it because I'm a huge Superman fan. The curiosity will get the better of me. So yeah, guys, let's give it a chance. People hated Henry Cavill, but people hated Daniel Craig as James Bond at first, the blonde Bond and all the rest of it. And people were like, oh, he looks nothing like James Bond, he's going to be crap. And it turns out to be one of the best James Bonds there ever was. It was fantastic. Henry Cavill was good. For the people that say, oh, it's such a shame Henry didn't get another movie, he's my Superman. Well, do you know what? Brandon Routh was my Superman. Well, Christopher Reeve was my Superman growing up. But then Brandon Routh in 2006 did an amazing job. And that's criminal that he didn't get another shot at Superman. I mean, he kind of did with the whole Arrowverse crossover Elseworld thing, but I don't count that. He didn't get another shot on the big screen, and he should have done. There should have been another Superman movie with Brandon, because he was perfect as Superman and Clark Kent. Anyway, guys, what do you think of David Corenswet and the casting decisions here? Comment below, I'd be interested to know. And with that said, guys, I'll catch you in the next video.